not by birth, family but not by DNA. David.
Hey guys, it's Adam again, and welcome to episode 2 of Unrelated at Birth. This week we welcome friend of the show Mickey Boylan from Florida Citrus Sports, and he gives us a preview of the Camping World Kickoff later this month against Florida and Miami. He talks a little bit about what Florida Citrus Sports does in the community to make Orlando a better place, and then him and Dave, much to my chagrin, geek out about wrestling. Then Dave and I talk our summer vacations, we geek out together a little bit about Legos, and then we even talk some Stranger Things theories we have about who the Mind Flayer might be. So we really enjoyed this episode, guys, and we hope you do too.
Be unrelated at birth.
All right, guys, we're back for episode 2. As always, you've got the one, the only, the golden voice of the Southeast coming to you live and in living color from Harvest, Alabama, because like Harvest, I'm on top of my podcasting game because we're not sports anymore, Adam.
We can still be sports.
Okay. All the way from the House of Mouse, we got the phenomenal brother, Adam Russell. What's going on, Adam?
Are we giving up the naming of all of the towns, Dave? That was my favorite part.
That was a cool thing we did for Sideline Warning. Do you think we can bring it back for?
I think maybe you should save it, research a really good list, and just bust it out one day and surprise everybody.
Just stop using Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can still be.
Hey.
What is that?
What is that?
What is that?
What?
That's horrible.
That's Big Ten crap.
What? That's beautiful.
That's basketball fight song, isn't it? Or
all right.
Soccer?
We have our resident Penn State grad on the show. Mickey Boylan's back with us. His first time on Unrelated at Birth. Mickey, you excited to be on the new revolution of podcasts?
I am pumped, and that intro couldn't get me any more excited.
So you're excited for an 8-win season again?
Oh, ouch. Wow. we had what, 9 last year? Come on, at least give us an extra one.
Well, at least you should know. If you're happy with SEC reject coaches, you can have James Franklin. And hey,
we're getting there. We're couple 10, 11 win seasons. We had little bad luck at the end of the year, but he's got some good recruiting coming in, so I'll take it.
Well,
I have to wait, hey, Dave.
Okay.
Afterwards, don't remind me or don't let me forget after the show. We need to talk about how we treat guests. This is the first one we've had, man.
But no, hold up. This might be the first time we've had a guest on Unrelated at Birth, but yes. But Mickey's more of a friend now.
Yeah,
but
we have new listeners that don't know that, and you're just bam right out of the gate. So
they have to know. It's tough love.
Okay,
right? Exactly.
Tough love. All right.
There you go. Well, for those that are new listeners, you have to know that Mickey Boylan is a friend of the show, of our old show, and I consider him a friend now because we talk wrestling when he comes on here now, and I can't talk wrestling with Adam. But Mickey is also the marketing director, communications director. What are you now, Mickey?
Manager of marketing and communications.
Okay, so yes. For Florida Citrus Sports, who puts on the Camping World Kickoff game every year. We're going to say every year because it's going on every year now down there in Orlando, Florida. And this year, it's a doozy. It's an old rivalry coming back. Florida versus Miami, and can we say week 0?
I think that's what we're going with. Yeah. I think that's the official.
Oh, is it? On that. All right, so it's week 0. So Mickey, give us the spill. Give everybody the what's happening.
Yes.
With this kickoff game.
So I think the last time we spoke, might have been just prior to the move from August 31st to the 24th. But with this being college football's 150th year, they're going all out. So they decided that they want to start big and start in week 0. I think last year they did a game in, was it Hawaii, or is that a couple years ago they did the Australia game? So they've all, for a couple years now they've gone out and done something. But this year they want to do something big, put a marquee matchup the week before every conference, every team plays. So primetime game on ESPN. They're reigniting a big rivalry, Florida and Miami in the center of the state. So, both fan bases rowdy. I relate it to Pitt, Penn State, back in the glory days, the old time with Marino and all those guys. It's bringing that kind of intensity that back. So those fan bases are getting to see each other again. They're getting to play under the lights. All the national television and the spotlight is on them. It's the only game that going on at that time on ESPN. So you can feel the excitement building right now, and just can't wait to get going.
Yeah. So what's the office like? Are y'all here? We're recording this about a week before we're going to release the show. We're pulling the curtain back a little bit, but so we're exactly a month away now.
A month away. Yep.
We're recording this on the 24th of July. What is the office like down there in Orlando? Are y'all getting excited? Are y'all getting nervous? Are y'all getting plans put together? What's going on?
I don't know what kind of intel you've got, but it's funny you mentioned the office because on Friday we moved out of our office. We're now working from the press box. So our office is currently being renovated. So, all 40 staff members of ours are now crammed into a little press box up there. But no, the atmosphere is, we're excited. This game is, this game's going to sell out. There's very few tickets remaining, but there's still, ability to come and see this game if you're a Miami or a Florida fan or just a fan of, college football in general and you live in the Central Florida area. But, we couldn't be more excited. The fact that we were already pumped to have, these two teams reignite their rivalry and, kick off the college football season. But now that it's moved up a week, a marquee matchup, everyone's eyes are on it. It's hard to top, it's the only way it could be better is maybe if it was 1 versus 2, but the ratings haven't come out yet. So who knows?
I mean, you will have an SEC versus ACC 1v2, but probably not those two teams. Probably Alabama, Clemson 5. I don't know. So what? I know y'all have a lot of things leading up to the week. I don't know if you have everything plans in place yet or not, but go ahead and let everybody know at least some of the preliminary thoughts of what y'all are going to do up to the week of the game.
Yeah. So downtown's going to be crazy as it always is on a game day. But the fact that it's a night game gives you plenty of time to tailgate and have some fun on the day of the game, leading up. So we've really gone out and built up our Fan Fest, which takes place on Tinker Field right outside the stadium. We've got sponsors galore. I mean, Bud Light's got some type of 2-story party stage platform. Wendy's has some type of gaming thing going on. There's going to be a stage with live music. Obviously, they're going to have the bars all over the place out there. It's going to be hot, Central Florida in summer. We've got plenty of misters out there. A lot of what do they call them? A hydration cart or something that goes around and gives free water. So you can stay hydrated in between those Bud Lights and all that good stuff. I mean, there's a laundry list of different activations that are going to be taking place out there. And FanFest opens at 2 p.m., so you've got 5 hours before kickoff to, take advantage of that. So if you don't, if you want to go to FanFest, we've got tailgate guys out there. If you're not familiar with tailgate guys, instead of you having to, buy $100 parking pass near the stadium or park in someone's yard or whatnot and throw your own tailgate, these guys set up the tailgate for you. They cook the grills, bring the grills out. You bring your food, drop it off there, and they're hosting for you. So and you're on the premise of the stadium. So as opposed to being in a parking lot, you're right in the FanFest.
Do you know what the price of those tent setups are?
There are a couple of options which you can find out on our website, campingworldkickoff.com. There's one big tent I've been told, and there's also individual ones. So say if there's just 2 or 3 of you and you just want to join in on a big tailgate, you can go do that. Or if you have a group of 12 to 40 people, you can throw your own that they'll pitch the tent, bring the grills out. All you got to do is supply the food and bring your drinks, and you're good to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you don't want to get down there that early, or you want to spend some time elsewhere, Church Street, Wall Street, all those places downtown will have the bars open. There's a free shuttle that takes you from downtown straight to the stadium. So even if you don't have a parking pass, it's very convenient to get there early, have some fun, and then get in the stadium before kickoff.
Yeah, that was one of our favorite things. I took my son last year to the game, and he had a blast. There was enough out there. It was a good balance. They had some VR stations and some stuff where you could throw a ball, kick a ball, that kind of thing. So it was a good balance and good time.
Yeah, that is. I hate that I came down to Orlando the day after
next day
the Alabama Louisville game, so I didn't get to experience all the fun. But Adam and our friend Ben, who was on our other show with us, they told me all about it and said that y'all threw a first class party.
Yeah, it was great.
So
I'm sure you guys like the result too.
I mean,
just a little.
just a little, although we did get a fun soundbite of Nick Saban. I'm not going to tell you, so stop asking. Pure Nick Saban genius.
I think that was
so
the whole year long.
Yes, it was. It was. So we know the football game is a big deal, but we also know that Florida Citrus Sports does more than just football. Adam, you've mentioned a bunch of times on the old show how Florida Citrus Sports does a lot for the community in Orlando. Mickey, talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's a great time to talk about it. We are wrapping up our 25th annual summer camp, which is an 8-week program. Well, I should say now is an 8-week program. It started as a 4-week program. We've stretched it out to 8 weeks, the whole way through the summer, 5 days a week, all day, free to children in the community, in the local area and neighborhoods around the stadium. And what we do is we build on academics, athletics, and attitude. So there's each day the kids will play basketball, they'll play soccer, they'll play football, they'll do dancing, they'll do swimming, they'll have computer time in the computer lab, and they'll also now new this year is golf. So we really keep them active, keep them going. We have a guest speaker for an enrichment program every day. We've had from Olympic gold medalist gymnast Scott Johnson to professional or former professional soccer players that played at Manchester City. We've had people from Advent Health, some Ford, CEOs from Ford and different different industries, different types of people, all speaking and giving the kids a different some type of advice or just helping them really understand what the industry is, give them some insight in case they have an interest in that. And lately, with all the talk about STEM programs, we've also built in some STEM exercises and different classes, if you want to call it that we do. So it's not just focused on athletics and your typical summer camp where you're out out in the sun 9 hours a day. It's really got an academic and a balanced feel to it. So that's wrapping up next week. Actually, we're having our end of the year ceremony, and we also all our proceeds from our games and events they go towards the local community. We partner with Lift Orlando, which I believe I've talked about on the show previously, but it's helping to build housing and job opportunities in the area surrounding the stadium, which for the last decade or so has been going through some tough times, but the last 5 years has just been an incredible advancement in the area. We just Pendana, which is across the street from the stadium, just went up. I want to say that's about 400 houses in that complex. Beautiful. There was a wait list for about a year to get in there. I was trying to get in there myself. It's amazing to see in just the 4 years I've been down here, seeing the changes that's going on in that area. So whether it's football, whether it's watch parties, whether it's Wednesday wine yoga, anything like that, it's all going support a good cause. It's not just we're trying to bring different types of events to town, get different types of audience. So there's something for everyone in Florida Citrus Sports.
Yeah. And that's what I like about Florida Citrus Sports. It seems like you guys really have your finger on the pulse of Orlando. And Orlando has a special place in my heart because I go down there for theme parks all the time. And Alabama used to play there a lot, but we got, Nick Saban. But I the time I spend in Orlando, you can tell that the town is more than just theme parks. It's more than just a football stadium. And by what I've seen, by what you've told me, FCS has done a great job of really helping that get pushed forward.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good example. A lot of people ask, why do we have bowl games? Why do we do these kinds of things in today's culture of the way football is structured with the playoff? I think it's a great example that it's not only about having one extra game or a couple extra games in you guys' case at the end of the year. It's about using that as a platform and taking it beyond. I think it's a good example of why that's still prevalent.
Yeah, so many games these days are now owned by professional sports franchises, or a lot of them are CFP or ESPN owned nowadays. So we're starting to find ourselves in a smaller group of bowls that have been around for decades that came from a smaller group. And it's also neat to see that our bowl started from a local Elks Lodge that wanted to raise money for a local children's hospital by throwing a big football game at the end of the year, and then seeing that turn into a 74th year of the Citrus Bowl. We've brought a second bowl game to town back in the 90s. That's now going into its 30th game, I think, this year. And then you have the kickoff game, which is brand new. We brought international soccer to Orlando 2 years ago with the ICC. Different concerts have come through, so we're really trying to, it was so focused on football for such a long time, but we're seeing that the interest isn't just limited to football. So we're trying to branch out and see what else we can do to get people excited and showcase what Orlando has to offer to the world.
Yeah, and last year y'all had the 4-ticket pass. Do you know if there's anything like that this year coming through the pike?
Yes, there is. Right now, actually, there's 3 ways to get tickets for the Camping World Kickoff, and the one you're referencing is one of those. But you can either buy through the schools or buy a Florida Citrus Sports membership. You can buy off the secondary market, which is
don't do that.
Yeah, it's a little expensive, but if you wait too long, then you're stuck doing that. But the last reason is what you're mentioning is the stadium pass or stadium bundles. So right now we have a 3-game bundle, which includes the Camping World Kickoff as well as both bowl games. So obviously once August 24th comes, if you don't get that, you're down to a 2-game bundle. Which is still a great deal. I mean, you're adding value by getting those 2 games in one, because you're saving money than if you would buy them either through the schools or through Ticketmaster single game. If you bundle them, you're always going to save that way. But it's great because not only say you come down for the holiday, the Christmas and New Year's, you're here for 1 week, you might as well get the 2 games and go see them both. Or if you're a college kid and you're home for break, there's a lot of different things. It's not local people are the heart soul of it. They have the best deal for it. But a lot of people come through Orlando in the holiday season, so it's really not a bad Christmas gift or anything like that.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not. And Florida fans, you'll probably be playing in the Camping World Kickoff game again, or the Camping World Bowl game. So why not go ahead and buy the season pass? Because that's probably where you're going to be. So I had to get one rib in there. Come on, that's just how I am.
Let me get one more thing in here. The stadium pass 3-game bundle is only $300.
Are you kidding me?
Look at the secondary market for this game. Just the Camping World Kickoff game. You're not going to find much under $300. So
that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that pretty good seats too, or is that?
Oh yeah, plaza, lower level. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, that's the way to go if you're a Florida Miami fan.
Says, it sells itself.
Yeah, it does. Mickey, do you have anything else to plug for FCS before we go on to the other topic I like talking to you about?
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. I try to break out a smaller scale or a lesser known item of our organization when I come on here. And I don't think we've ever talked about scouting before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nope.
No, we haven't.
So maybe one of the most popular benefits of being a Florida Citrus Sports member is to be a member of our team selection committee. What our team selection committee does is each week of the season, we have 2 of our members go to each game in our partner conferences. So ACC, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12.
Can I join?
Yes. We're not going to stop you. And then they go out there, they talk with the athletic directors, they talk with the coaches, they talk with the fans. They're there all day from the moment the tailgate field's open to the moment the press conference after the game is over. They're talking with as many people as they can to really get an idea of how the fan base feels, how the team feels, what the excitement level's like. If they haven't been to Orlando in 20 years, are you guys want to come? Like, how do you feel about Orlando? If you guys are in the running, do you think you guys are going to travel well? Do you think you guys would be excited? Is the team pumped to play this type of game? Stuff like that. So there are organizations' eyes and ears on each campus every Saturday. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's been going on for at least 3 decades. But it's just
Adam,
year after year.
Yes, Adam. Why aren't you a part of this?
I think the question would go the same for you, right?
Well, because I'm in Huntsville. Didn't think I could do that.
You have a few more schools that would be very much easier for you to get to.
Most of our scouts are from Central Florida. We do have many from out of state as well.
See, there you go.
So, yeah.
I think you just recruited 2 new members, Mickey.
What's the price to get into this membership?
Any membership allows you to be eligible for scouting team selection committee. So you can, I think our lowest level membership this year includes tickets to both bowl games, and it's $500, and you get free entry into almost every other event we have. That includes Feast on the 50, which is the tailgate in the field, member celebration at Full Sail University, home of WWE NXT. Any kind of watch party, Super Bowl watch party, March Madness watch parties, Wednesday wines, all that stuff, all included free in a membership.
Oh,
Yeah, you were saying that to our listeners, but you didn't.
I think I have a little bit of an idea of this audience.
wow.
just a little. So do y'all pay for the trip for the members to go up to these member institutions, or
The trip is not, so travel and hotel stays are paid by the member, but
of course,
but
yeah, I just had to ask.
parking and entry into the game, which is usually a press pass or a media pass, is given to you by FC Sports.
Okay, and do we get to wear the cool blazers with the pin and all that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You are speaking his language right now. That's so funny.
Yep.
You mean
okay.
I get to look official while I do it too?
Oh yeah.
That's so Dave.
I mean, I am official, Adam. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
You were the one that was acting gaga last year when the AAF gave us press passes.
I acted gaga when we got the ones for Camping World too.
Well, that yes.
Hey man,
but...
look. Anytime you can do something and be in an official capacity doing it, it's always a good thing. But I just got a mental image in my head, and anybody who knows Dave that listens to the show knows what I'm talking about. I had a mental image of you striding onto a field, with the blazer and the pin. I can see exactly what the look on your face would be.
I mean, it's a really cool experience. It's something
awesome,
I have not had the chance to do, but in speaking, attending our team selection meetings almost every other Monday during the season, different schools do different things. Some presidents invite you to the breakfast the morning of the game or the night before, or a dinner the night before. Others will take you into their suites, or they'll take you, into a different box along the press box. You're on the field, portions of the game. You're in the press conference after the game. It's a really cool experience. But the most important thing is you're really getting to see the different colleges and universities, the different types of teams out there. So it's an experience that I think maybe only 2 other bowls do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
If that.
Right. You have an official Vandy rep now in Dave. He's not that far from Nashville.
Vandy isn't going to make the Camping World Kickoff game.
You don't know that.
James Franklin was the best thing that ever came out of Vandy, and he's now at some loser Penn State. I mean,
it was funny. I was watching the College World Series earlier this summer, and he was there because he's good friends with the Vanderbilt baseball coach. And I'll tell you, I watched maybe 3 innings, mainly because I'm not a big Michigan fan, and they were in it, so it's kind of yeah. all my high school friends. And they must have mentioned James Franklin like 18 times during that. I'm like, guys, we're watching a baseball game here. But
that's like watching any other sporting event, Alabama sporting event. They're like, oh, Nick Saban ate a cookie for breakfast this morning. All right, so now that you've roped 2 other scouts into this FCS thing, let's switch channels here. You got the pleasure and made me jealous of going to Fight for the Fallen. And you sent pictures on your Twitter of how close you were to the amazing Joey Janela, James Moxley death match, basically. Yeah. John Moxley, right. He's still Dean Ambrose to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But so talk to me about the AEW experience, because it seems awesome. It's old WCW to me.
AEW, like the root beer?
That's A&W.
Shut
up, you muggle.
I mean, Cracker Barrel's their sponsor, but maybe they should go and get A&W as their sponsor.
That would be great.
It's awesome though. Since I moved back to Orlando, we had MLW here for a while before they started branching out to some bigger venues. And
right.
I really fell in love with the small scale wrestling. These guys are fighting in the middle of a bar or a nightclub in front of 400 people. You really, when you're that close, you really get a better sense of the athletic ability that it takes for these guys, and also guys like Joey Janela that just land on thumbtacks and cut some, the disgusting things they do to their bodies for this. It's exhilarating a little bit. But the AEW Fight for the Fallen was at the Daytona Ocean Center, I think it's called, which is actually where they hosted the Bash at the Beach, I guess, was where Hogan turned on everyone back in 90s, I guess.
It was 95, 96.
4 or 5? Okay, 6.
Yeah, 6.
So I mean, it's got some wrestling history there too. But it was the second year in a row we went to that event. Last year, Kenny Omega put it on with the guy from CEO, and it was an NJPW event. But now that obviously Kenny's with AEW, they brought the AEW talent, which has a lot of guys from MLW that I was seeing fight in front of 300 people, now fighting in front of thousands.
Yeah.
I'm a big Darby Allin guy.
Oh, dude, that trust fall, the free fall he did on the ring apron.
Yeah, he's nuts.
I can't. Did you see what they just announced? The All Out match
with him,
Darby Allin, Joey Janela, and the other guy, the other weird.
Jimmy Havoc.
Yes. All 3 of them in a hardcore style match.
Against who, or just the 3
just
of them?
The 3 of them, a triple threat.
Yeah. That'll probably be my favorite match of the night.
I don't know. Mox and Omega. That's going to be my favorite match of the night. I think going into that. But
Kenny's not really a hardcore fighter, so
he's not.
I'm kind of interested to see how he takes this.
He goes into that mode every now and then because remember the first Omega Alpha Omega match. They went hardcore for a little bit.
They did. You're right. Yeah.
And he can dig down a little bit, but not to the tune that Mox can do.
Yeah. They're nuts. I don't know how that. I knew walking into that Moxley Janela was going to be a bloodbath. So
yeah, they didn't go as much death match as I thought they would though. I wonder if that was maybe Cody saying, "All right, slow it down just a little bit," because TNT is watching.
Yeah, and the I don't know if I want to call it creativity, but when Moxley took his shoe off and then threw him down the thumbtacks barefoot, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Obviously, you've seen guys fall on their backs and stuff like that, but I thought the barefoot thing was an interesting touch. And
it was great, and I like the fact that they're doing. It's not really characters, but they're just letting the wrestling tell the stories for itself. That's what's lacking a little bit in wrestling right now. And I think that they're really bringing that into it right now.
I agree. And I just hope they build on that when they announced the TNT deal today. Did you see that?
I did. Wednesdays starting October 2nd. Did they announce what time slot though?
I did not hear a time slot. I think it's DC is the first show, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then I just hope that once it becomes weekly, they build up the storylines a little bit. I like you said, that the wrestling is, it's really showing the I don't know, the emotions, and it's really carrying the storylines right now, because otherwise you're watching a couple YouTube videos every week. But once they have the programming slot each week, I just hope that they keep building.
Yeah, I think BTE will probably take a back seat, where I hope it still goes on. Right now, BTE is pushing the storylines out right now.
Yeah, and they're doing these road to all in, road to all out, and stuff like that, which I haven't been able to keep up with.
Yeah, it's more just storylines of who the wrestlers are. One thing we did see on last week's Road to All Out is Sean Spears is bringing in what's the guy's name? Tully Blanchard.
Tully, yeah.
Yeah, and which I like, and I think that might be an olive branch to try to get Tessa too.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they didn't get her to join back when they announced Britt Baker.
Yeah,
they didn't announce many of the female wrestlers other than Britt Baker, and then they brought over a couple from. Did they come from NJPW? I'm thinking of is it Rue?
No, they came over from the Chinese, whatever the Chinese Federation was, and then they did announce B. Priestley from England, who is actually Will Ospreay's fiance.
Okay, she hasn't. Oh no, she was the one that was against Britt Baker last time, right?
Right. Yeah. And so she's great.
Speaking of Britt Baker, Penn State grad.
Is she really?
Oh yeah, went to school with me actually.
Oh well, okay. So
I did not know her when I was there, but I do have a mutual friend with her.
Wow.
Yes.
Girlfriend of
Adam Cole. Baby.
Adam Cole, baby. Yeah. So here's another. So you are our first guest on the show. Funny enough, next week we are going to have another Penn State couple. YouTubers, the WDW couple. They go through the theme parks and everything, but they're all from
yes. Oh, I didn't know they were Penn State grads.
I don't know if they're grads, but they're huge Penn State fans.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, they're from Pennsylvania, so we're there. I guess we're just the Big Ten is infiltrating our show.
We're going to take over soon.
That's a new prerequisite on our guest questionnaire.
Are you a Big Ten fan or grad? So just tell me what the excitement level was like down there, because to me, watching it, I felt like a 17-year-old kid again watching it on pay-per-view. What was it like in the stadium?
It was interesting. It gets loud. When the high moments come and there's a big impact move, it you just feel it. You feel the rumblings. The event wasn't actually sold out. I don't know if that was by design or if it was something to do with camera work and all the production side of things. But the upper deck across from us was a little bare. But as the event, they really do a good job of, I think, how they organize which match goes where. You see like a lot of the big WWE pay-per-views, they'll put a big match on and they'll put something that's not quite as popular, a shorter match kind of. It's almost like they're afraid to build up the whole way.
Right.
Kind of do little waves and crest and stuff like that. But like the last 4 events of every AEW show I've seen just continue to outdo themselves. And I'm a big Lucha Bros fan. I love Pentagon from his Lucha Underground days. That was That was my first taste of Pentagon, and the stuff he did with Vampiro was right down my alley. So I've been a fan of his since, and he came to MLW, and I saw him in person, and the way how he teams with Rey Fenix, and I mean them and the Young Bucks together against each other was like, they're both on a different level as far as tag teams go and how they, can choreograph their moves together. It's just a fight to see.
The fact that the Bucks can wrestle a lucha style and the Lucha Bros can wrestle whatever the Young Bucks do. I mean, the flippity doo-dah crap, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know, but
is that a technical term for wrestling?
Party.
The flippers, I don't know. We can't say what Jim Cornette calls it on this show. It's not PG. But it's amazing how they can both wrestle the different styles and make it look great.
Yeah, and I've seen them go out to AAA now and wrestle over there too, which is I like seeing them go. It's almost like a home and away match kind of a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool, and they've accepted that the ladders match at All Out for the AAA titles.
Oh, is it for the titles?
It is for the AAA titles. Yeah,
aren't they unveiling tag team titles for AEW as well?
They are. They're going to do a tag team tournament.
Okay.
Starting in the TV shows, they'll do that because the Dark Society or the Dark Order is wrestling the Best Friends for the first round bye.
Those are 2 teams that I had never known until I went to the AEW shows.
Dude, Best Friends. I didn't know much about the Dark Society, but Best Friends are incredible.
Yeah. What's the
Chucky T and
Sexy Chucky T, right?
Yeah, I don't know the other guy's name, but they're incredible. Yes, Adam, those are real names.
I just roll with it, man.
I'm enjoying.
I just wish that if your name's Chuck Taylor, shouldn't you be wearing some Chucks?
You should be wearing Chucks. Yeah. I agree. That why didn't he? The one other thing I just want to go crazy about is MJF.
Oh yeah,
easily the best promo man, mic man, and I'm going to say the business, not just AEW, but probably the best mic man in the business.
I've mentioned MLW countless times, but the first MLW show we went to was in front of 400 people at this nightclub just north of downtown Orlando. Mm-hmm. And the first thing we said, I went with some coworkers. First thing we said when we left there was, how is this MJF kid like nowhere else? How is he here doing this? I think he's 19 or at the time. I think he's like 21 or 22.
Yeah, he's a young kid.
Yeah, and his mic skills have been like that for years. I mean, he's a natural.
Did you ever get a chance to watch Dojo Pro that I was telling you about?
I have not had a chance to yet.
Okay.
Did you say Hulu?
Amazon Prime.
Prime, okay.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. So he was in Dojo Pro a year and a half ago. So my buddy Logan, no one knew who he was. And he got up there, and it was the best mic work I had ever heard. And honestly, there was 20 people in the building. And it was filmed in Tennessee. And, of course, he went crazy with the whole redneck thing. And it was awesome. And what made it even better is I went out to dinner with Logan and all the guys afterwards. And MJF is MJF in public.
Yep.
Like, you know that it's a persona, but he never really turns off MJF. So kayfabe is alive and well with MJF.
He after the MLW shows, they used to go to a bar across the street for like an after party, and they'd invite the fans there.
Right.
It was like a wing house, a wing, and a bunch of beers on tap, and a lot of wings and stuff. So we went there one night, and we were leaving, and he was out in his car. He had his Burberry scarf around his neck. Still, he had like some Aeropostale or Abercrombie and Fitch pink shirt on. Like he you're right. He doesn't let go of the gimmick at all.
Yeah, he lives his gimmick. Adam, since you don't know who we're talking about, his catchphrase is, "I'm better than you, and you know it."
Wow.
If you haven't, when we get done recording this part of the show, I'm going to send you the YouTube clip of his promo at the Fighter Fest.
I was gonna say
it was gold.
Yeah, he said I had a really good line that I can't repeat on the show, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
about the fans' mothers, I believe it was.
Wow.
Yes. So the Fighter Fest is a gamer fest, basically. It's what the CEO thing is, a gamer fest. So he made a lot of comments about gaming and the stereotype of gaming. Think about the stereotype that I said on Sideline Warning when we were doing our gaming esports.
Did
chat.
he delve into whether or not e-gaming is a sport or not?
No, he did not.
But I think his position is probably clear from the sound of it, though.
Let's get Mickey's opinion. Hey, Mickey, is esport a game, a sport or not?
I mean, it's got the word sport in the title, but I don't know. I me personally speaking, I wouldn't say it is because I don't think it's athletic. I think I'm one of my response to what a sport is it's athletic. It may not have, I know we talk about competition and how wrestling is predetermined, but I think if it's athletic and you're getting the heart rate up or you're doing some type of physical activity, it's a sport.
There you go.
That's
but it's called
activity.
esports. What's weird
moving
is
my thumbs is physical activity.
Is it?
I'm going to say this.
That industry is nuts, though. That thing is booming.
Yeah, it is.
$1 billion. It's insane.
It is. It is insane. All right, Mickey. I think we've given Adam enough wrestling talk. So let's.
I was enjoying listening. I've heard
I was going to say I didn't hear you snoring, so it couldn't have been that
bad. He didn't pick up a book once. I'm impressed. That's normal.
I'm getting better.
Mickey, you planning on going to any other events down there?
I missed the one that was last week that I was on. Or was it 2 weeks ago? I think, but I don't know what else is coming down this way. I know NXT comes once a month, and it's been a while since I've seen NXT, so I wouldn't mind doing that. But nothing else on the radar at the moment.
I'll be down in Orlando for Halloween Horror Nights mid-September. I'm hoping that NXT will have a taping when I'm down there.
They do it on Wednesdays, so make sure you're.
No! Dadgummit! I'm coming down Friday.
A day off again, Dave.
I know. I'm leaving on Tuesday.
Well, they do those like traveling shows too in local areas. So maybe you'll catch Tampa or something like that.
I'm going to have to because I'll be down there visiting with Adam. I'll have to take Adam to a wrestling show sometime when I'm down there.
Or go to one of the local wrestling schools. They probably have like walk-in stuff.
I wonder if I can just walk into the power plant.
Worth a try.
It's the performance center.
You should wear your blazer with a pin when you walk in and just.
I probably live 4 miles from there, and I have yet to go even.
Really?
Drive past it. It's because Full Sail is where all the stuff is.
Right.
I never really think about going.
The performance center's at Full Sail too?
No, it's 2 miles north.
Okay.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump away. It's not far.
Oh, well, all the wrestlers live down there now, so I'm surprised you haven't run into all of them.
NXT tweeted out some video of a couple of their up-and-comers at a rooftop pool downtown. That was my buddy's old complex. I sent him the video. I said, "Hey, isn't this your old place?" He's like, "Yep, that's my place."
Well, cool, Mickey. Well, hey, if they want to get you on the Twitters, get your FCS on the Twitters, what's y'all's your Twitter handle and your Twitter handle if they want to follow you?
Yep, we are at FC Sports on Twitter and at CW Kickoff. And then on Facebook at Florida Citrus Sports and at Camping World Kickoff. And then I'm at Mick Boylan 7 if you dare want to follow me.
Hey, he is a fun follow. I kind of poke at him a couple times too. So,
and from what we hear, if you follow his account, you'll see why people say he has pretty eyes. Is that the story? Yeah.
That's just my McDonald's friends.
Okay.
wait! I need to hear this story. Hold up.
I go to McDonald's so many times that they start to flirt with me. What can I say? I'm the number one customer, I guess.
All right, Mickey. Well, hey, we appreciate it, man. As always, we'll probably have you on 5 or 6 more times. You know how we do. Hey, Mickey, I appreciate it, man. Hey, guys, having Mickey back on and interviewing with Mickey, it's just something about feels like home, doesn't it, Adam?
It does, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Quality.
Just like the World Kickoff series of bowl games.
There you go. Plug.
Florida Citrus Sports, quality.
So during the break, for y'all, it was about 5 seconds. For us, it was about 30 minutes because Adam had to go FaceTime with his kids and his wife, and I had to.
They're in Mississippi right now. Visiting.
Yeah, they are. They are. Adam is pulling the bachelor lifestyle for about a week. So the next 2 recordings you hear, Adam's been a bachelor. So we'll check in on him for us next week, for you the very next episode, to see if he's burnt the house down. But during the break, you heard us mention the MJF promo at Fighter Fest just a couple minutes ago with Mickey. Adam watched all 3 minutes of it. Adam, tell me your thoughts on MJF now.
I enjoyed it, and I can understand with the terms that you put it in of the psychology of the heel, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
I can understand how that has an entertainment value to it. It's no different. I mean, we use the example of if you saw MJF in the real world, you would probably
JF.
That's what I said, isn't it?
You said G.
Oh, I said G. I thought I said J. I'm sorry. I was very specifically trying to use the right term. MJF.
Marshall Jacob Friedman III.
So MJF 3. No, MJF.
Yeah, MJF.
So he, if you saw him in real life and you're into wrestling, you would probably, your first thought would be, what a jerk, you know? But it's the same thing with like the guy. Well, yeah, but still, this is back to our show now. And so it's like, if you saw the guy who played Lucius Malfoy, or he was also the villain in The Patriot, you'd think the same thing about that kind of guy, because these guys are not just athletes, they're actors. And therefore, through that, I can understand how some people would find entertainment value in that. So,
well, see, then there you go. You need to find entertainment value in it. So
I don't. I doesn't mean I didn't find entertainment value in that 3.5 minute clip you sent me on YouTube. I found it in that, but overall, I still got to work on it, I guess.
Yes, you do, because we're going to talk about it more here on Unrelated at Birth. Because
not that much. Don't turn us off, everybody, please.
Hey, there's a lot of wrestling fans that will listen to this podcast, because I have a lot of friends that are wrestling fans.
Okay.
And they'll listen to the show. But anyway.
So we've done the sideline warning thing. We did a throwback by having Mickey on. We talked sports. We talked wrestling. Let's give the non-sports wrestling folks something. What are we going to give them this week?
Well, we took a break from recording. You know, we started the early part of July to record these episodes that we're giving you guys in 3 lump sum. But we took a break because both Adam and I went on separate vacations. I went on a vacation with my wife, well, kind of a work trip vacation with my wife. She worked, I vacationed, and Adam went on a family vacation with his family. Adam, what did you do? What was your vacation?
We went to the beach, and I will not disclose the location of where we went because it is nearby to a very busy beach in Florida, but it is still yet, I won't say undiscovered because it's pretty built up, but it's not built up the way that other beaches in the area are. And it is still very quiet and nice and small. And I would like for it to stay that way. So I shall not give the name, but if you follow me on Facebook, you'll probably see where I was. But we went to the beach, and this is the 3rd year in a row that we went to the specific place. And we're at that point now where we've kind of, you know, you take trips other places, you know, you make sure your family's well-rounded in their travels and all that kind of stuff. But you need that one go-to spot where you know almost to the day exactly what you're going to do so that you have just kind of a comforting routine throughout the week, right?
And this is Disney for me.
Yeah. And this place is that for us. I mean, we eat at the same places pretty much on the same day. And, you know, we stay at the same place, and it's comfortable and predictable, and you don't have to wonder what you're going to get by staying at different places and that kind of stuff. So we had a blast. Saw Toy Story 4 while we were there. Thoroughly
you saw 2 movies.
That. Yeah, well, we saw The Lion King the other day. And over the weekend. I guess no, not over the weekend. That was on Monday night, Tuesday night, Monday. Anyway, and so yeah, we had a blast, man. Kids got a lot of sun time. It's amazing to see my daughter Emma now. How much compared to last spring break, we went to Cabana Bay over at Universal, and she was screaming bloody murder on the lazy river. Literally, even in a float in my lap, she wouldn't go around just the lazy river. Now she's on the steps saying, "Daddy, I'm going to swim to you," and she's actually like out in the water just as much as her brother is. And Aiden actually, his big moment, hers was in the pool. His big aha kind of growth moment over the trip was he watches some scuba guys on YouTube that like dive in rivers and stuff, and they find stuff. And so he's learned that if you put on a mask and go down, you can find shells a lot easier and that kind of stuff. And to watch him in chest deep water for me, going all the way down and staying down while he looks for stuff and that kind of stuff. It's really cool to see him kind of grow in that way and find stuff that he really enjoys to do that's beyond the norm there. So it was a good time. How about you?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you one word that sums up the DC trip of 2019 is HOT, hot.
So you were in DC? Was it a true vacation?
No, it was just a vacation. Well, it was vacation for me, but it was a work trip for Amanda. It was just me and Amanda. We left the girls at home. We struggled, and I almost brought Ellie, but now looking back on it, I'm glad she didn't go because it was a lot of walking, a lot of heat. You know, I've grown up in Alabama. I've grown up in the South. We go to Disney World 2-3 times a year, and I've never felt heat like that.
Wow.
Is someone else wanting to know about my Disney trip?
Sorry. Let me throw that over here in the corner so it doesn't vibrate again.
Hey,
there we
Blair.
go.
Hey, Blair.
It's actually just a boring email, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it was just hot. I had all these grandiose plans to go see the monuments, and I've never seen the ice cream. I've never seen the World War II memorial. I've never seen the FDR memorial. I've never seen the Korean War memorial, nor the MLK memorial. And you know, MLK is Alabama. I mean, that's Alabama history there, and I would have loved to see that. But it just got so hot. I saw more of the DoubleTree Hotel in Crystal City than I did anything else in DC. But I will say this. Growing up in Huntsville, you know, we went there for the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing. Growing up in Huntsville, I get very numb to space artifacts and space history. I mean, I drive past the Saturn V rocket every day. Yeah. I go see hockey games and concerts at the Von Braun Civic Center. It's now the Von Braun Center. We took the word civic out of it. But I go see stuff there. And you know, my grandfather worked at NASA. My wife works as a contractor for NASA. I buy stuff for a space contract. So really, space is second nature here in Huntsville. So we get numb to the history of it. We went into the Air and Space Museum. Amanda got off work about 11 o'clock on Thursday. And we thought, okay, we're going to go in the Air and Space Museum and see what they've got. I thought, okay, it's just a glorified space and rocket center. Found out they had Neil Armstrong's Apollo 11 spacesuit. I thought, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's cool. We walk in there. We ate lunch about 11:30, 12 o'clock. Adam, no lie, there would have been a shorter line at Flight of Passage.
Wow, that's saying something too.
It is. I mean, it was. We asked the person at the front line, how long do you think this line is? They said 2 hours, 3 hours, you know, and I was like, okay, we'll come back in the morning.
Yeah.
So we got back at 9:30 the next morning. The museum opened at 10, and we waited in line outside. But as soon as we got inside, no one really knew to run up to the museum, to the little place where the spacesuit was, and it was really something I wasn't expecting to have this kind of reaction. But when you go up there, you are face to face, pretty much my nose to the computer screen here, with the spacesuit that has been on another world.
Yeah.
that has touched something that wasn't in this Earth, this gravity restricted Earth atmosphere. Found out a couple of things while I was up there. The moon dust that you see on the picture you see, the dust on the suit is actually still lunar moon dust.
Wow.
How they've kept that on that suit for 50 years, I'll never know.
Is it behind glass?
Yes, it's behind
and
glass.
Like climate controlled and all of that.
Of course.
Wow.
So there's that. And then we're talking to the curator, talking to the worker there. He basically just stands there and guards it. Something I had never heard of, never knew. Neil Armstrong went up to the moon with a square cut out of the Kitty Hawk Wright Flyer in his pocket.
Wow.
And something that you would have never, that would just blow your mind. It was 66 years from Kitty Hawk to Apollo 11.
Wow.
66 years. So in 66 years, we go from my foot is planted firmly on the soil to my foot is on another planet.
And in the 50 after that.
In the 50 after that, we hadn't done anything.
Yeah. We're about to, though, right? Maybe. Anyway. What else did you see?
So, well, back to I'm still talking about Neil Armstrong.
So
here.
What else? Oh, okay.
So you walk through the line, and after you see the little artifact, you turn a corner, and there's the actual plane, the actual Wright Flyer, the Wright Flyer, is there. Like I was within probably 50 feet of the Wright Flyer,
wow.
The very first airplane. So you turn that corner, and then you go, and you are standing face to face with this suit that has been on the moon.
That's really cool.
And for me to have that reaction, I didn't expect to have that reaction. I was shocked.
Yeah.
That I had that reaction. Then that was something me and Amanda did. But while she was working, I walked down to I walked into the Natural History Museum, took the picture of Henry the elephant. Just, roll tide, #roll tide.
Yeah, there you go.
Have to. And then I just walked my little happy self down to the next museum, which was the American History Museum. And if you know anything about me, you know that is my museum. That's my thing. So we were there about 5 years ago. They were renovating half of the museum. So I just really toured the other half that I had never seen before. There's a couple of cool things. The first thing on the bottom floor is a 1930-something actual ticket booth from Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
Just this red booth that had some New York graffiti written all over it from Yankee Stadium. You turn a corner, and then the very next thing you see is Carl Yastrzemski and Ted Williams jerseys hanging there. One of Ted Williams' jerseys that he wore in one of the famous, I think it was one of his 400, the year he batted 400.
Wow.
And then you go up a couple flights of stairs, and there are Dorothy's ruby red slippers from Judy Garland's The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
A little trivia fact that they had on the plaque there is the pair that she wore in the movie was a mismatched pair. I have yet to figure out why and what is mismatched about it.
That's a good one for the Google machine.
That is a good one for the Google machine, Adam. Why don't you put that in the Google machine and see
Continue
what's going on?
And I shall.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Also in that room is the Scarecrow hat and Glinda the Good Witch's wand, and I think I saw Tin Man's little Tin Man hat thingy, whatever you want to call it. Kind of looks like an oil canister. But then what I thought was really cool about that museum is it had the you walk all the way downstairs, and it had the 1989 Batmobile that Michael Keaton drove in the original Batman. And then you turn the corner, and there's the 1970s Wonder Woman outfit, the actual claws that Wolverine wore, or Hugh Jackman wore in X-Men, I think Days of Future Past, or whatever that movie is.
Okay.
The shield from the first Captain America that Chris Evans used, and the Batman, is it a cowl? Is that how that
cowl? Yeah.
cowl.
His mascot.
Unfortunately, it was George Clooney's cowl and batarang, but it was still movie prop used. So I mean that was pretty cool. You look like you're proud of yourself. What's the?
No, I'm not proud of myself. It's a fascinating story. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead and tell your story.
So it looks like back in 2018 they recovered some ruby slippers that were stolen from the Judy Garland Museum, and the ones that the Smithsonian had were different sizes. The heel caps were different, and the bows were different.
Okay.
And so they believe that mix-up occurred right before an auction of costumes and memorabilia. That's when the Smithsonian pair was obtained, and they think that they mixed them up as part of that auction. When they found these two that were stolen and brought them to the Smithsonian to compare them, the other ones had the exact same issue. So both original pairs were temporarily united.
So why aren't they reunited now?
Because the one that the Smithsonian bought was the mismatched pair.
So
that's the one that they bought.
Why don't?
That's a great question. Maybe somebody can answer that one. I don't know, but they were mismatched due to a mix-up, and temporarily, all the pairs were back together the way they should have been, and then they put it back to where the mismatched pair is still in the Smithsonian. Fascinating. Now everybody in the sound of my voice has learned something today.
You have. That's interesting. Okay.
So
as you heard in the first podcast, Adam is a
numismatist.
Numismatist.
I would spend my whole time at the Mint.
There was a numismatist.
Really?
Yeah. Remember I sent you the picture.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was a numismatist little section. I like saying that word. I don't know why. I walked in and spent about 5 minutes in there, but you probably would spend the whole day.
The whole day, dude.
Yeah. But then Amanda and I made the unfortunate choice. We ate dinner at Old Ebbitt Grill, which that's one of those things you have to eat at when you go to DC. I had a crab sandwich. Amanda had a crab cake. They're known for their crab cakes.
When in Rome, yeah.
Right. When in Rome. I had a bourbon, of course, and Amanda had some bourbon sangria, which is really good. Keep in mind it's 102 degrees outside.
Oh, yeah.
We decided after dinner to walk just 8 blocks to the National Portrait Gallery. Well, 8 blocks ended up being about a mile and a half after both of us had a bourbon drink in 102 degree heat.
Yeah.
So it was hot.
Yeah.
But the National Portrait Gallery is really cool because it has all the official presidential portraits in there. Have you seen President Barack Obama and President Bill Clinton's official portrait?
I saw one with Clinton that I thought was his.
Kind of modern, and it makes it look like he's pixelated.
No, the one I'm thinking of is the one where he's kind of got his hand on his hip and he's holding a newspaper or something.
Nope, that's not it.
Returning to the Google machine. Please talk.
Return to the Google machine. I'm sure you've seen Barack Obama's where he's sitting in like the flower garden. It's really weird. Barack Obama's is weird. Bill Clinton's is weird. And JFK's is weird. JFK's is like that 1960s paint splotch looking thing. But it's really cool being around. I'm a history nerd. It's really cool being around all this history stuff. You know, around it, just paintings that were painted back when the country was A, just born, or B, during World War II, during the Civil War. It blows my mind.
See, that's why I like coins, Dave.
I understand, but
See?
I get it. But
let me take a second to explain what got me into coins, and I'm making my pitch to you and everybody else. What got me into numismatism? This will only take a second.
Numismatism.
The first big coin collection purchase I made, because I've collected stuff for years, but the first one I bought was a Morgan silver dollar from the 1890s, I think, and I was talking to the guy about it and everything, and he said what fascinated him and what got me hooked on it was that when they minted those, they would just fall on the floor. And a guy would come in there in the mint with a shovel and shovel them into bags, and they were carried by stagecoach to the banks where they eventually were put into circulation. And to think that that coin rode on a stagecoach across this weird terrain and there weren't roads, and it just that's a piece of a time that is long gone, and nothing exists from that time except for that type of stuff.
Well, that's
like
not
these
true,
portraits, like those coins, like documents. Those are the kinds of things that last. But you can't own any of that other stuff, but you can own a coin. That's what got me into it. I'll step down off my soapbox.
Technically, I'm going to dispute you on one point.
You're going to dispute me. You dispute my numismatism?
I do. So the original document that is on display at the archives, National Archives of the Declaration of Independence, was bought at a yard sale.
Really?
Someone owned
wow
the Declaration of Independence.
Isn't that insane?
It is. So
and
Nick
then
Cage,
Benjamin Gates tried to steal it.
Yeah, and then Nick Cage, I know, right? Come on. And then he tried to set it on fire.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
No.
Anyway.
But the other cool thing about the portrait gallery, did you see the Bill Clinton portrait yet?
I did. That's trippy, man. It fits.
It does. Fits. It does. But then the other thing that was really cool is they had a bunch of Civil War paintings.
Oh, that's cool.
And you know the painting where it had all of the North generals riding on their horses, and that painting is there.
Wow.
The actual painting that is there. And they had, I don't even know the general's sword they had, but they had an actual Civil War general's sword in a case.
Wow.
I've never been that close to an actual Civil War general's sword.
Yeah.
I mean, all the emeralds and rubies and everything were still intact and still there. I mean, it's just that cool. The other really cool thing about being in D.C. is being there for the 50th. We were there when they did like they mapped the Saturn V and the moon launch and all that on the Washington Monument. I'm spoiled when it comes to Disney and 3D mapping and all that. I mean, when you look at the castle and they're doing the Happily Ever After show, you feel like you're not looking at the castle. I mean, they actually do moving pictures and all that stuff. Apparently, somebody in the government has been talking to Walt and his mouse, because they did a great job with this. And the last showing they did on Saturday night coincided. They started it so when they showed Neil Armstrong's footprint on the moon was the exact time that happened. So it's cool. Just really cool. Another just fun thing about that is we just randomly, a couple of friends of the show and friends of mine, Eric Terry and Jason Porter, were up watching a Baltimore game up in Baltimore, and they decided to drive down to see all that. And so I got to hang out with Eric and Porter, or Turbo and Porter as we call them, and just, they live in Birmingham, so I don't get to see them much, but 9 hours away, 14 hours by car, I was hanging out with some friends of mine in DC.
Awesome. That's cool, man.
Yeah, it was really cool. And just seeing all that. And like I said, we really, because it was so hot, I didn't get to do much sightseeing, but I did get to go to a mall up in DC and saw the Lego store.
And we don't have a Lego store in Huntsville because, we don't have a cool mall. So this is the first time I've actually gotten to go into a Lego store that I've actually seen. I mean, there's one in Nashville that I go to every now and then, but
the one that's not at Disney Springs, you mean?
The one that, oh yeah.
There's one at the Springs.
We did go to that one with you and your kids, didn't we? And I had to drag Ellie out kicking and screaming.
Yes, I usually have to do that with my kids as well.
Maybe that's probably why I blocked it out of my mind, because it was all that.
What a great Disney memory.
I dragged my kid kicking and screaming. Such fun. But yeah, so we're up there for the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, and my wife goes in and she knows that all these cool moon landing stuff, Lego toys, are out there.
Yep. And
we were talking to the Lego store clerk, or the guy that makes minimum wage selling Legos.
It's an honorable job.
It is selling Lego sets to adults.
Yeah.
He said that weekend they had sold something like 50 SLS sets.
Oh wow!
It sold out like every day. But they had the 50th anniversary, the lunar lander set, and Amanda wants that. It's $100.
Is that the SLS? What is?
No, the lunar lander is the one that they actually landed on the moon.
Yeah, yeah.
SLS, the Space Launch System. That's the new thing that they're building now to go back to the moon and then eventually go to Mars.
So they have a set of what they're going to use?
Well, we know what SLS is going to look like.
But I'm saying they have a set for that already.
Yeah, they already have a set for that.
That's cool. That's neat.
I
had only seen the Saturn V and the Moonlander.
Oh, yeah. In there, they also had the Upside Down.
Yeah.
Which the Stranger Things, when they also had the Millennium Falcon, which $800 if I was a rich man,
Millennium Falcon Deluxe.
Yeah, if I was a rich man, I would definitely have the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
But also for $100, well, my wife wants something that for work that she can build and put on her desk at work because it's something she does. The lunar lander. That's something she works with.
Yeah.
I wanted the $100 Steamboat Willie. I mean, I'm a Disney guy. Everybody at work knows I'm a Disney guy.
Yeah.
I've got my pass holder magnets on my desk, on my cubicle door, and I want my Mickey set. Did
that seem equitable? Is that going to happen?
I mean, eventually,
yeah.
But there's a Disney store, like you said, at Disney Springs, and I believe pass holders get discounts at said Disney store, and I believe I know a cast member.
Do you?
That is down in Orlando a lot.
Wow.
So,
like every day a lot.
Yeah, like every day a lot.
Every day a lot.
He's on property every day.
Huh. Well, when you feel like introducing him to me, let me know.
I will. It's a cast member that likes to hang out with me and comes visits. No, wait, no, that cast member doesn't.
Oh, wow. So it's a cast member that is almost like a brother from another mother, but you're
brothers,
not related.
Brothers, but not by birth.
Okay.
Family, but not by DNA.
I think I know who you might be talking about. Yeah. I have to say that Stranger Things set, I have to have that.
It's only like $3.99.
Actually, no, it's cheaper than that. Yeah,
it's
a lot cheaper than that. But I have to have that one. That one just for the Hawkins. I know you could probably buy the pieces to make a car, but it's the things they included in it, like the Hawkins, car for the sheriff, Hopper and all that stuff, and how it's literally has the upside down right under the house, and
right.
That's one of the cooler sets. I think it's probably just because Stranger Things is. I'm big on that. Everybody is right now. I just got done reading the first book that they released.
Wait, there's a book?
There's a book. It's the prequel that talks about Terry Ives, so Eleven's mom. And it talks about how all of that happened.
So I know we're at a longer set than we should be, but since you mentioned that, I have to mention this. It is, since we're going to go longer than an hour on this show. I'm sorry, guys. But I sent you a text a couple of days ago. I think it was from Screen Junkies or something like that had a theory about who the mind bender or the mind melder or whoever.
You sent that to me?
Yeah, the mind flayer. Who that is.
I didn't see that.
So
what's the theory?
The theory is the mind flayer is one. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
so the mind
6.
flayer is the first one.
Right. And that's why, so he failed. He couldn't be this person that I forget the original doctor's name or the psychiatrist's name.
Oh shoot, I just read the book.
Papa. Whoever
Brenner.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But he failed and he created the upside down. And the only way to get rid of him was trapping him in his creation of the upside down.
Interesting.
And the reason he hates L is because L is everything one should have been.
L's like the anti-one.
Right, exactly.
You can close what he's trying to open. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Because this book, this prequel book took place. 8 was in the story. So the girl from the second season.
Right.
Can make different things appear, right, and bend reality. 8 was in the book as a 5-year-old. So it's kind of that place in the timeline.
Okay.
So 1 already existed at that point, may have already done something. So that's interesting. I was thinking, what if reading this book, I know it's probably not the case, but I had a thought early on of what if the mind flayer was Eleven's mom.
No, it can't be.
Well, I know it can't be, but before we knew what we know now, it's like, what if it was like, because learned from the book that she was in some of the experiments along the way,
Right.
and it's like, well, what if, she's trying to do it because she knows what 11 can do, and she needs to stop the whole thing. But no, I agree. I don't think it is. But that's a really good theory. That's pretty solid.
I like it, and I want to see how far they're going to go with this Stranger Things thing.
I just hope it doesn't turn into Lost.
Well, what it's going to, and I think I said this to you, what it's going to turn into is the daggum Russians versus Americans. And why does every flashback TV show we do in the 80s have to be Russians versus Americans?
Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil anybody who hasn't watched Stranger Things 3 yet, but there are lots of 80s movies that you could pin back. There's one particular character that reminds me of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
That it's like there's several pop culture tie-ins, and honestly, I have to say there's enough pop culture tie-ins like you're talking about where it's like Red Dawn or whatever that movie was, right? And it's like the Russians and the guy who's hunting people down, and there's all of these parallels where it's almost like, is this a dream? Because there's so many overt 80s references now that it's like, is this somebody's dream or something? Are you going to find out that it's like in someone's imagination? I don't know.
If they do a Dallas Who
Or a
Shot
New Heart.
JR, yeah, and all of a sudden they wake up, Will is a father figure, and he wakes up and said, holy crap, I just had the strangest dream.
Yeah, right.
I'd be so mad.
And his wife goes, well, stranger
So
things
mad.
have happened. Cue the music. Sorry, anyway.
Brothers, but not by brother. Okay.
But I mean, I do. I think they've said there's a season 4. There's rumors of possibly even a 5.
Right.
I just hope that, there's very few shows anymore that know when to just end the story and walk away. And I remember being all jazzed about a show on CBS that was a summer series called Under the Dome. That was one of my favorite Stephen King books. And I was so excited about the show, and they deviated from the book almost immediately, and it just kept going, and they kept adding things and getting more. I mean, it's already far-fetched because, a dome falls down over a town, right? And they can't get out. So it's already far-fetched because it's science fiction, but then it turns into just like this craziness that was nothing like the original story. I just hope they don't get to where they're trying to extend it for money's sake. Sometimes you just end the story and have a good vision.
Well, you're not a Game of Thrones guy, but I kind of have been in the past. Season 8 did the exact same thing. So you had to have season 8, but they rushed it, and it sucked. It was a horrible way to end the season.
Bad. That's bad. So here's to hoping they do better with Stranger Things.
Yeah, let's hope they don't do How I Met Your Mother, Lost, anything like that.
I didn't see an episode of any of the last 3 shows you've mentioned. So
you never watched How I Met Your Mother?
No.
Adam Russell.
I didn't.
You have to get on Netflix and watch it because it is one of the funniest shows ever.
Okay. I'll get right on that, Rose.
Yes, you must.
I must.
You must.
It is an edict from the Golden Voice.
Of the South.
Hear ye.
By the way, I've changed my Twitter handle. It used to be Listen to Sideline Warning Podcast.
Yeah.
Now it's the Golden Voice of the Southeast.
Nice. So people will know.
Yeah. I cometh.
That's it.
So anyway, we're talking about Twitter.
Yeah.
Segway. Adam, we've just created the Twitter for Unrelated at Birth.
Yep.
Go ahead and tell them what that Twitter handle is.
We're going to get the tweet machine going at the address @NotRelatedBros. Not related, BROS.
Because it is...
you wouldn't believe how difficult it is to find anything with the words related, family, brother, unrelated, podcast. Doesn't matter what combination of words I tried, nothing was there. But @NotRelatedBros, or just search Unrelated at Birth.
And like I said in the first episode, we're not a birthing podcast. Mom,
we're going to give that caveat for at least the first 10 episodes, I think, right?
We might have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want a birthing something, I would say find my mom on Twitter, but I don't even know what her handle is. Probably EC something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I'm at DAdams419.
Yes,
he is at RunTideRun.
Yes, I am.
I believe this week we created the unrelated line. We're still working on it.
We're not going to give the number until the 3rd episode. You have to listen to the
is
trilogy
that-
of opening episodes, and we're going to give it to you at the end of that.
Is that the deal?
That's the deal.
The deal pickle?
That's the deal, pickle.
All right.
See how
all right.
organized we are? We know exactly what's going on at all times. That's what's going to
Sure.
make this such a great show.
Sure we do. I'm a little scared because we've switched roles. I mean, I was producer, host, everything, and you were just guest or co-host of the last show, and now I'm just host.
You're doing more than just host, though.
Well, I bring in guests and everything. I mean, I bring the listeners to the yard with my golden voice, my sultry voice, but you've got control of the editing now, and I'm a little scared of not having that much control.
Well, if you want to edit, you can gladly take over the editing response.
No,
I think that's what
you've got GarageBand.
Like.
You've got GarageBand.
Yes, and
it's easier to edit.
Trust me. Trust me.
All right, guys. Well, as Adam said, we got one more show in this trilogy. In fact, this episode's probably going to be called Episode 2, Attack of the Podcast. And can we do something about the Sith? No. I got to think of something for the 3rd episode.
Well, you got enough puns running. You've proven that with the post on Facebook.
I'm very punny.
Yes, you are.
Ba-dum.
So prove your pun might and come up with something for 3.
All right, we can handle that. All right, guys. We still haven't figured out a way to end it, so I'll just say there, we love you. We'll see y'all in episode 3. Roll Tide, #ChopOn. See y'all next episode.
Bye, guys.